Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Cooking with Coco. Cooking and Coco with a K. So, I am getting ready to make for dinner tonight Tuscan chicken mac and cheese. In this pan, I have 2 chicken breasts that I have seasoned with salt, pepper, garlic powder, and smoked paprika. I am just going to let these continue to cook until they're almost done. And they feel firm. I'm just going to let them cook a little more on this side. I'm going to take them out of the pot, out of the pan. Let them sit on a plate and just let the juices redistribute themselves throughout the chicken. While that's happening, I'm going to add to this hot pot my onions, my fresh garlic, and some other variables. And when I get to that point, I'll bring you guys back. Okay? Alrighty. See you soon. Alright, so chicken is out of the pan and resting. Now I'm going to add my onions and my garlic. And I'm just going to saute this up, okay? I'm going to turn my heat down because what you don't want is when you are cooking fresh garlic, you want to turn the heat down because there is nothing worse than burnt garlic. It is so bitter and gross. So we're just going to lower the heat, cook these onions and garlic. You want to cook the onions until they are translucent, which they're coming. They're getting there. They're getting there. I could add salt to it, but I don't want to because I feel like the oil that was that I seared the chicken with, I had good salt on the chicken, and so whatever seasoning was on the chicken, it's in the oil that is sauteing these onions and garlic now. So I think we're good there with the salt. So I'm going to saute this up, and the next thing I'm going to add is white wine. So I'm going to go grab my white wine, and then I'll be back. I'm going to let these hang out for a second. Get my white wine. Alright, y'all, so I'm back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my wine. This is about 1/4 of a cup of dry Riesling. Ooh, it smells so good. You know, I love wine. It is dry Riesling 2020. And the name of it is Washington Hills. I know it's probably backwards because I'm front faced with the camera, but it says Washington Hills, and that is a dry Riesling 2020. Okay. So I'm just gonna let that cook down. I'm actually gonna bring the temperature up in the pot here, or in the pan. Okay, and that's starting to cook out. I can smell the alcohol cooking out of it. Alright, and now I'm going to add my sun-dried tomatoes. And I would say this is a good cup of sun-dried tomatoes. This is julienne, the California sun-dried tomatoes, and this is the julienne cut. So that's what I got, and I just got this from Kroger. I think it was $4.99 from Kroger. Okay. Alright, so we're just going to cook this down. We brought the temperature up and bring it up just a little higher. Okay. Cook all the alcohol off. You can even hear the temperature rising in the pan. You can hear it getting louder and louder. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, since you hear that it's cranking up, I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Stir that in like so. Because see, now I'm getting ready to make it to where it'll be creamy. So I'm gonna stir that in real good. It's gonna get gummy on the spoon. That's all right, but you want to cook it because whenever you do dry, whenever you do flour, when you're making a roux, you want to cook it because there is such a bad taste when the flour is uncooked and then you go with it. You need to cook the flour. I have made dishes where I did not cook the flour and it was disgusting. You can taste that uncooked flour and it's not very pleasant. Okay. That's good there. Alright, this is perfect. And you see how it's clumping up together? That's that flour binding it all together. That's good. You want to see that. I also used 1 onion, 1 chopped onion, and 3 large cloves of garlic. And I just minced that garlic. Alright. So now I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of chicken broth. This chicken broth is kind of cool, so it's dropped the temp. I might just have to add all of this, actually. I think I am. Okay. So scratch that, not a cup, but an entire 32-ounce container of chicken broth. And this is low sodium chicken broth. Low sodium, reduced sodium, is the same thing. So I'm going to let this come to a boil. When it comes to a boil, I'm going to add heavy cream to it. Just a little bit of heavy cream. And then I'm going to add my elbow pasta to it. And then after I add my elbow pasta to it, I'm going to add my spinach. And once I add my spinach, I'm going to add a little more cream. And then after I add a little more cream, I'm going to reduce the temperature. And then I'm going to add all my cheese, bring my chicken back. It's over there resting, so I don't want to cut it yet. It's resting. I'm going to add my chopped chicken to it. By then, that pasta that I added to it will be softened, and then it'll be ready to eat. It's a 1-pot meal, y'all. Or a 1-pot dish. I'll be back. All right, so it's starting to boil, as you can see. Now is when you want to add your pasta. I think that'll be, that's good. Stir it around. Just a few more. That's perfect. Okay. And we're just going to let that boil. See that boiling? Okay. That's good. You want to see it. You want to see it. And now, I'm going to add my heavy cream. Let me grab it out of the fridge. Let that go. Don't stop it. It's fine. Okay. Shake it up real good. There we go. All right. And I'm going to add a little bit of my heavy cream. That's gonna bring that temp down a little bit. See that? That's good. And then do you see how it immediately starts to thicken once that heavy cream hits it? Yum. Oh, you want to see it. Okay, so we're gonna let that go. We're gonna let that boil. Keep your heavy cream because you're gonna need it. You're gonna add some more. Let that boil. I'll be back. All right, y'all. So I've brought the simmer down. I brought the boiling down to a simmer. This boiled for about 5 minutes, and then I turned it down to a simmer to immediately stop the boiling. And now I brought it to a low boil. Does that make any sense? So it's like right at a 4. It goes from like 1 to 9. It's at a 4 right now. Okay, so we're just gonna let this kind of slow boil. And what I'm doing is I just want to cook the pasta at this point, because as you can see, it's getting thick. And when I add that cheese in there, I add the spinach in there and a little more heavy cream. That's gonna be rich and thick and so delicious. And then I'm gonna chop up the chicken and add it at the end. Okay, so just hang with me. I just wanted to show you guys what it'll look like once you bring it to a simmer and then bring it back up to a low boil. Okay, all right, I'll be back. All right, y'all, so we're back. I'm just gonna stir it so you can see the pasta is soaking up all that yummy sauce, that rich sauce. All right, so now I'm gonna add in my spinach. Just gonna add the spinach in, cook it down, add some more cream, the cheese, and the chicken, and then we'll be good to go. And remember, when you're stirring in this spinach, it looks like a lot, but it cooks down to nothing. So the heat will wilt the spinach leaves. You see, it's already cooking down. To me, this is just kind of like an Italian hamburger helper, except I would call it like a chicken helper because I'm using chicken and not hamburger meat. Doesn't that look delicious, y'all? And it tastes so good. I got this idea from Facebook, actually. I saw this recipe on Facebook. I decided to give it a try. This is my first time trying it too, so I'm going step by step with y'all. How about that? All right. So, as you can see, that has cooked down to nothing. I think what I'm going to do is add about another handful of the spinach and let it cook down. It looks like the Italian flag a little bit, doesn't it? Those colors. Do another handful of spinach. I like spinach. It's good for you. Okay. So I'm going to stir this in. Oh, it looks so good. I cannot wait to eat this. And this is such a good dinner. You got everything in it. You got your meat, your grain, your vegetable, cheese, dairy. Get you some strawberries and some blueberries and maybe a little yogurt on the side and have that as an after dinner snack. And that is a whole meal with all the food groups. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add more heavy cream to this. Stir that in. look at that. Look at how rich. Oh. More heavy cream, probably all of this. So that in total was, I think this is 16 ounces. Yep, that's 1 pint, 16 ounces. All right, so I'm just gonna stir that in. Bring that up. Bring it up. Cook it a little more. The pasta is almost to that al dente phase, which is, that's how you want it. You don't want it to be too mushy. So, and doesn't that look good? And just wait till I add the cheese in it. That's gonna be even better. All right. So now it's time to taste it, and I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper to this. Give it a little flavor. Put a little more salt. A little pepper. Okay. Stir that in. Does that not look delicious, y'all? I hadn't even added everything else in it. Now I'm gonna go in the fridge and get the cheese. The cheeses that I'm using, per the video, I have cheddar, mozzarella, and Parmesan. So I'm gonna add the cheese to that. But man, that looks good. Okay, so let me grab the cheese and I'll be back. All right, so I got my cheeses. Mozzarella, I'll put mozzarella there. It's real good and cheesy. Parmesan, we're gonna put Parmesan here. Look at all that cheese. And I got my sharp cheddar. All right. Let's mix it all up together. Oh, it's already melting. You see that? Oh, Lord Jesus. Get that Parmesan cheese in there. Oh, Lord Jesus. Can y'all see this cheese, child? Oh, Lord Jesus. All right. And now, I'm going to bring it up just to a slight boil. And I'm going to add my chicken back in there. Now, if that doesn't look good, y'all. Literally. I won't even be able to put all the chicken in there. I'm going to submerge it in there. Let it get good and coated. Ooh. And y'all, when it's done, I'll bring you back. I'm letting the chicken, there's some pink, little pink in there. So I'm just gonna let that cook through a little bit. And when there's no more pink, it'll be time to eat. I'm so excited about this. I'll bring you back, okay?